What is going on, guys? Your boy Joey 672 coming to you guys with a video right now. So I want to go over this Eagles defense, probably the bright spot of this game this past Sunday. Probably the biggest bright spot that we had, to be honest with you. I was really happy with this defense, the way they played, just the way they just worked their tails off to keep, the Washington football team out of the end zone. Obviously, they gave up one touchdown on blown coverage, but I mean, they can only do so much. If our offense is literally 3 and out and just 3 and out every play after the first quarter, and they're just throwing picks and just not doing a good job, and turnovers do happen. This is what happens. The defense gets on the field a lot more, and they can only do so much on the field, but the offense needs to produce. Bad quarterback play by Carson Wentz, bad offensive line, blocking scheme, just personnel. We just had injuries, which hurt us a lot. And the play calling has just been absolutely awful for week 1 for the Eagles. So I'm hoping to God that we straighten this up on offense. This defense will flourish when the Eagles start scoring on offense, could do some good things. I know Avonte Maddox dropped a pick. It wasn't easy. I think the receiver kind of hit his arms as he was trying to get the pick. But, man, I want to talk about this defense and the bright spots that I really seen from all these guys. And I want to talk about the cornerback position, probably very important because that's where we've been weak over the past few years and for a while. Okay, Darius Slay had a game, and this is what you get when you trade for a good cornerback. Okay, Darius Slay covering Terry McLaurin for 50 snaps, 5 targets, 3 catches, 30 yards, no touchdowns. Okay, McLaurin had 10 catches for 255 yards in 2019 against the Eagles. I mean, that's just insane. Obviously, you saw what he did the first game. You saw what he did the second game. He had some breakout runs against us, very easy. When we had Jalen Mills and Ronald Darby there, it was kind of crazy. And I just saw he doesn't back down from anything. Darius Slay is still one of the best, and I'm really glad. And everyone's saying he was washed up. He wasn't going to do anything. He's not the same corner anymore. I just the next Asante. I think that we haven't had something like this since Asante Samuel. Like, we haven't had a corner that was above average, and that's what Slay is. Okay, I think Avonte Maddox was very sticky on the other side. I think he did a really good job. I think we all knew that he was going to be starting opposite of Darius Slay after, Rasul Douglas, Sidney Jones got released, and then Craig James kind of came up and was that most improved defensive guy on this team. Okay, but I was very happy with this secondary. 9-day difference. I saw a 9-day difference from last year, and Terry McLaurin had no chance. Dwayne Haskins cannot throw in small windows. He can't throw those very perfect passes. So this is why Terry McLaurin didn't really have a good day at all against Darius Slay. So that's one win for Darius Slay for the week. So I'll be going probably through this every single week to see what's going on. But if you want to go to safety, I think Ronnie McLeod made a couple plays. Jalen Mills actually did a really good job. He was coming downfield, making hard slug hits, which I really did enjoy that a lot. Back to his roots at safety. He got drafted as a safety, then turned to a cornerback for the Philadelphia Eagles. And honestly, for a 7th round pick, Jalen Mills has actually played well as a corner, because you're not getting that much production from a corner from a 7th round pick. But he has lost a lot of times. We all know this. So I think it was a good position change for Jalen Mills, a new era, new number, just a new, fresh start. Obviously, Malcolm Jenkins isn't here to move around the field, so this is why Will Parks is not in this defense right now, still out a few more weeks. Will Parks was supposed to be that moving piece. He'll be back in a few weeks, obviously, but it just sucks not to have him in the lineup right now. You want to go to this linebacker situation right now. I think we need to see more as the weeks go on, but I really did like the progression of the gaps, okay? They were quick. When the Washington football team would run left or right, these guys hit their gaps fast. I see a lot of speed with this linebacker core. I think TJ Edwards, I think his coverage wasn't really that good, but I did see some flashes of speed when they were running the ball to either side, and those guys were there to make the tackle. They were right there. Sean Bradley, I thought he was quick, made a tackle at the line of scrimmage so fast. I mean, he knocked this guy down. I mean, he tackled him and just pummeled him to the ground. I thought it was awesome. Jim Schwartz mentioned before this game that he hasn't really had this much speed at the linebacker position in the past few years. So it's really nice to see that the feedback is coming through. And, I think it's just time. This is like a time will tell type thing with this linebacker core to see what we have. Nathan Gary had a few tackles and a sack as well. So Nathan Gary, probably the guy that has the most experience. This is the guy that turned from a safety to a linebacker from Nebraska, okay? And it took him a few years to really get in the mix of what he was doing. So I was really happy with the linebacker core. I think it's just a wait and see thing for the linebacker core, just see what they do, to see who those top guys are going to be. But very excited for that whole group of guys right there. Now, defensive line, you had Brandon Graham that had a tackle in the backfield and got some pressure. Obviously, I wanted more sacks. Josh Sweat had a strip sack today, and, Josh Sweat has been looking better and better every single year. The more snaps he does get, the better he looks. I think that is the true thing about Josh Sweat. The production is there from him. Denard Avery did the same thing. He actually made a couple tackles, came in. Obviously, Barnett's not playing in this game, so came in and made some good progress as well. I mean, he ended up getting injured right when training camp pretty much was ending, and we all thought that he wasn't really going to play, and he was fine. He was totally fine, 100% fine. So more reps for Denard Avery. Obviously, it's his last year as an Eagle, to see what we have between Barnett and Denard Avery and see who's going to be on top of that to sign the next defensive end for this team once Brandon Graham does retire. Now, when the Washington football team was running up the middle, Malik Jackson, Fletcher Cox, they took care of business. They did. Other than, when we were throwing on short field advantage and Carson Wentz got a couple picks and defense can only do so much. I mean, we can't stop everything. I mean, these guys are on the field most of the game. So when they were running up the middle between Fletcher Cox, Malik Jackson was like a brick wall. I mean, I love both of those guys. Malik Jackson really showed, I think right at the beginning of the game, Malik Jackson showed that he was punishing that guard from the Washington football team, and just saw some really good pressure from both of those guys and really defending the run really well. Really like those guys a lot. But then you get another guy in Hassan Ridgeway. That was a nice flash in the pan last year, had a foot injury, came in, got a couple of tackles in the backfield, nothing crazy, but has been productive in a rotational role. Now, the newly acquired T.Y. McGill that's been at camp, has been cut, has been brought back, was back with us in 2018. We cut him, and then he came back at the end of 2019 for the offseason. So he was brought up from practice squad to the active roster. T.Y. McGill had his first sack. I was really happy with that. I like to see production from the defensive line, that, guys that come from practice squad. Last year we had Anthony Rush. We had a couple guys that made some good plays last year. Guys that, these no-name guys that come up and want to make a name for themselves. And T.Y. McGill get his first sack. And, hey, you know what? You never know what you're going to get out of this kid. But I'm glad that he was at least productive, did some good things, beat someone out of his block, and made a sack. So I was very happy with that. But other than that, guys, the bright spot of this game was this defense. And going forward, I'm very happy with this defense. This offense needs to produce. This offense needs to do something, because we did anything less than producing. We literally couldn't last a series. I mean, it was that bad. And if the offense can get their stuff together, Carson Wentz, the play calling, Doug Peterson, this offensive line, whatever the hell they're doing, we're going to see some really good things from this defense. And especially if this defense can put our offenses our offense in a really good position, was really happy with it. I really can't complain at all. So, I mean, other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I'd like to know what you guys thought about this defense. Obviously, besides, we got scored on, but I mean, our offense just, kind of gave the ball away at short field advantage the whole entire game. Didn't really do well. But I want to know your opinion on this defense. What do you think are the upcoming stars to this defense? Do you like our defensive line? Do you think these younger guys have a chance at linebacker? Do you think Jalen Mills is kind of developing into that safety? Think he's going to be better at that position? You guys let me know in the comment section below. And I will see you guys later. Shake Squad up. Fly, fly. Peace, guys. Peace.